Now, if you're making a move for Ben Simmons, I can promise you at least one future first-round pick is going to Philadelphia, or if it's a 3-team trade, going somewhere else. You're not acquiring a player of Ben Simmons's, talent without giving up at least one future first-round pick.
Yeah, and I noticed you mentioned Anthony Edwards as Carl Anthony Towns is untouchable. So is D'Angelo Russell a possible trade piece in that Ben Simmons deal, or are they holding out on that for now?
Chris, until I hear otherwise, and I promise you, I don't say this randomly, loosely, Philadelphia doesn't want D'Angelo Russell. They just don't. Now, I'm not suggesting that he doesn't have any fans in the league. Do I think the Wolves, if they wanted to, could move D'Angelo Russell? Yeah, I think there's a team or two that would have some trade interest, but I think there's more teams that are opposed to acquiring D'Angelo Russell than actually that want him. And I can just tell you, until I hear otherwise, and I've checked for many months, I've checked multiple times, there is 0 sense that Daryl Morey and that Philadelphia front office, that Philadelphia coaching staff has any interest in acquiring D'Angelo Russell.
What do you think a potential trade package then that the Wolves could send over for Ben Simmons would be at this point?
Well, I mean, Peyton, you look at the expiring contracts, expiring contracts always have value, so when Pat Beverly is trade eligible, Beverly, Prince, then you've got young assets like Jaden McDaniels. He has fans in the league. Leandro Bolmaro, future first-round picks. I mean, to me, if you're acquiring Ben Simmons, you're giving up at least 2 future first-round picks. So, you're looking at giving up multiple draft picks, plus at least one good young asset. Maybe it's not both McDaniels and Bolmaro, but let's say Jaden McDaniels. Then you're giving up, some money to make it work. Malik Beasley is another contract that's sitting there. He's not making shots, but I don't necessarily hate his shot selection. His defense has actually been a little bit better. Eyeball test to me, his defense has been a little bit better than in years past, but much like the Wolves, the bar for Malik Beasley defense is so darn low. You give any, effort on the defensive end, to me, it's going to be better, but he has been better in my mind defensively. But I mean, those are the type of assets you're looking at, but that's what also complicates things. Philadelphia doesn't really have interest in Beasley, right? So that's where you need to maybe find a third team. Can a third team send Philadelphia a certain player? Then you send, something to that third team, but the draft picks end up in Philadelphia. It starts to get complicated, but let's not forget Sachin Gupta, creator of the ESPN trade machine. I promise you, he knows how to get really, really creative.